Richard, good evening,
Good
Nancy.
morning, good morning. Yep,
Good
still good morning and
evening.
good evening. Good evening, Tita Chef Nancy in
Hello,
Houston.
Yes, good
Bulacan.
morning.
Hello, Cebu. Hello, Houston. Oh my God.
3 points.
Oh,
Yeah, good good morning to everybody watching on the live stream and watching on the replay. We have a very special guest, Mr. Richard Ramos of Eurobake fame, and we'll get to know his story. Paano ba? What's his culinary story? My name is Anton Diaz, founder of Our Awesome Planet, together with the Nancy Reyes Luen. Streaming live in Texas. We're streaming live here in Cebu because we're covering the Cebu food and wine event here. And of
mm.
course, Richard is streaming live in Bulacan. All right. Welcome to Awesome Live with Richard Ramos of Eurobake fame. Can you do a short
Nako, Richard.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
When they say Eurobake, there are actually, Anton, there are two to three generations that know it. The seniors will go for yung mga classic na mga ano. And then, pero the INIPIT is in all generations talaga yung INIPIT. Mamaya you have to show us what the INIPIT is all about. So, Richard.
Yes, Chef. I'm here.
Richard, you are...
Before we start, Sean Austin, like to acknowledge Sean Austin, Chef Pixie, Sevilla, hello.
Wow!
Thank you.
Naku, si Pixie
Alright.
unang nag-greet.
The first in line.
Sean Agustin. All right. So, Richard, paano ba nagsimula ang lahat?
Well, I can answer you in two fronts. No? First, siguro nag-umpisa yung culinary interest ko with how I grew up here in Bulacan. Lola Salome, siya yung nag-start nung INIPIT and the ENSAYMADA back in the 40s. And so my dad is the one helping her out sa bakery, the daily operations and sa mga formulas niya. So that pretty much yun yung pinaka-setup. That's why it led me to a culinary degree. I think we were talking about yung DNA, culinary DNA. So I guess at a very young age, 5, 6, 7, I remember just running around the bake shop and not knowing na yung interest ko pala medyo nag-sharpen na at that time. So yun yung recollection ko kasi sorry.
Speaking of culinary DNA, before you proceed, are we talking about Bulacan? Lahat kayo talaga Bulacan, your mom, your dad, lahat katutubong Bulacan?
Actually, my Lola Salome is the one from Bulacan. Our Ramos is from Kawit, Cavite. Even my mom's side, the Poblete side, is also from Cavite. So I don't know. I mean, for some reason, back in the day, the Caviteños and the Bulaqueños are always intertwined. I mean, because it started, the migration ng Ramos namin started from their grandfather. So my great-grandfather, nag-Bulacan. Pero ang Lola Salome, Panganiban, siya yung taga Bulacan or merong crossover between Pampanga na rin. Yan yung story natin dito sa Bulacan. But yes, I mean, roots-wise, Ramos namin and Pobletes are all from the south, from Cavite.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, proceed. Thank you very much. Kasi that
You're welcome.
Culinary DNA.
And knowing Cavite also, they're very deep din when it comes to culinary traditions and mga kaluto nila doon. So I guess that's all in one nest.
Okay. So you were saying nung bata ka pa nagsha-sharpen na yung ano mo, yung culinary sense mo.
Right. Kasi sa Panaderia La Concepcion, we would just be running around mismong Panaderia, and I would see my grandmother it's either naghihiwa siya ng INIPIT or naggagawa ng ENSAYMADA with the rest of the team sa bakery. But hindi siya nagpapatulong siya yung old school type na siya yung gagawa mismo She will only say yes to extra hand pag daddy ko or isang tita ko. Pero the rest, pag sa mga panadero, so hindi niya papahawakan, especially the INIPIT and the ENSAYMADA.
Secret.
Very meticulous. Hindi niya, I was told by my dad na hindi niya ibebenta or scratch niya lahat ng ENSAYMADA pag hindi siya alsado properly. Pag if it's flatten, oo. So yun ang isa sa naalala ko na sinasabi nila when it comes to quality check. Kung hindi lang siya mag-rise ng tama, hindi niya ibebenta.
So what was she using? Mantikang baboy, or mantikilya?
Back in the day, yes, I think all of those three are very useful, no? Yung mga mantikang baboy. Now na lang tayo may mga health conscious, which is not bad, but when it comes to mga traditional baking stuff, I guess lahat naman tayo sa bakery industry, we could relate sa mga mantikang baboy and lard and all those. Yeah, we can cut down, especially nowadays, mga health conscious, and but yeah, I mean even sugar. So that led me another phase of that is yun nga naalala ko lang since you mentioned that. Yung father ko, ang dami niyang nagawa din na kwento niya. And ako, I'm just sharing with you what I was told ng dad ko. From my grandmother to his, kasi to his book. Kasi my grandmother would use, back then, they would use like, isang kutsaritang asukal. What's kutsarita? Diba? There's no standardized, isang kurot ng asin. What's isang kurot ng asin, di ba? Is it a pinch really? Is it a French pinch? Is it an American pinch? That's what we always say. So, ang dad ko, kinonvert niya yon sa weights and volume. So, much easier for us. So that's why we appreciate that. But it has to be told kasi sabi ng daddy ko, mahirap din i-convert basta-basta. Especially back then. I had to really see it in actual on how she makes it for me to be able to convert it. Your
father had a book?
Well, scribble lang, yung mga scribble. I saw a book, I saw a notebook or a journal ng lola ko. And ganun nga, isang ganyan. Hindi ko nga maintindihan yung ibang Tagalog na term nila, but isang sandok ng asukal. Ano yung isang sandok ng asukal? What is it really? Ang hirap nun. But they make it perfectly all the time, every time. So, yun yung wonders nila. Even my dad would say, okay, use 78 degrees na water. 78 degrees. And then may measure ko yung thermometer. Siya, kakapain lang niya. Ito, about here. Tapos ako pag measure ko yung temperature ng water, 78 nga. So how does he do it? I don't know. Diba? That's experience. That's not being taught in school and all that.
Yeah. Okay. And then after that, ano na?
So after and after so dad continued the formula until nagkaroon ng Eurobake. So they saw the opportunity to put up Eurobake since they didn't want to use the name Panaderia Concepcion. So sila mag-asawa, parang it's a new generation, it's a new beginning for them. 1983 when they opened the doors in Eurobake.
Who coined the name?
Who coined the name?
It's them. It's a good question. It's a forever question na where did you get the name Eurobake? Sabi ko, simple lang. Nag-honeymoon ng daddy ko at mami ko sa Europe. Nakyutan lang sila sa mga cafes and restaurants sa Europe. So, nung umuwi sila dito, parang Eurobake. I remember them trying to write down mga possible names and then parang 5 minutes after, basta ganun lang kaiksi, parang after several names, possible names, parang they just got it. Eurobake. O sige, let's just call it Eurobake. Parang it's effortless, wala namang I mean, we're in the middle of Bulacan. I mean, what's so European about here in the middle of Bulacan? But yeah, I mean, we can talk all day, talk about from the Chinese roots, from the Spanish roots. So yeah, I think may sense din naman na ang ENSAYMADA is basically Spanish roots ang origin. So it's just so happy na nag-collide lang yung two informations.
Actually, ang ganda nga ng name hanggang ngayon nakiklik pa Diba?
Yeah, back then I remember walang makapronounce na tama. It's either Eurobake, Eurobake, walang makasabi ng Eurobake. At that time, ano ba naman yung mga Euro? I think it was just Mercedes brand before na gumagawa dito. I mean, Euro Motors, whatever, something like that.
Okay.
So it was something unique back then. I mean, back in the early 80s.
Okay, so there was a name now, a new name, and then paano na?
And then, yeah, so that's 1983. We're in 1983 now. So again, yeah, kami at a very young age. Again, we live here in the vicinity. So that's why we're the original work from home guys. We just come down, and kasi having a business like this, and I'm sure Tita Chef, you can second to this. Hindi pwedeng remote control eh. You have to be here. So that's the only way na ano, especially for us. Kami naman, we grew up really na hands-on, and I mean literally hands-on. So that's our practice, that's our discipline, and you know, I mean, up to now, that's still in us. Na kami hands-on lang talaga. Kami ng brother ko now and sister. So yun ang ano dun eh. We live here. That's why we can control the quality, the ins and outs, just the daily operation of the business.
Yeah, pero when you say you hands-on, talagang kayo lang may hawak ng mga secret recipe, and
Good.
kayo na nagni-need ng dough o hindi naman?
Yeah, good point. Merong isang room na doon nagtitimpla, doon namin tinitimpla yung mga yung formulas, and yeah, basically kami lang din talaga yung may alam. It's no rocket science, I guess. Kung maupo ka o makita mo yung ano, but then again, kung makita mo yung mix, but then again, with baking kasi it's formula. It's not just recipe na you can taste as you go and correct as you go. So with baking, you know, an ounce of yeast is an ounce of yeast. Kung kulang yun, or salt, or I mentioned kanina 78 degrees water versus yeast na will activate in cold water. So may mga ganun factors eh. We're talking about science now. Kaya yun yung isa sa I guess na trade secret, you can call it that. Pero kami lang din talaga nakakaalam noon. Up to now, to answer your question, up to now, it's still me. It's either me or my brother who does the mixing.
Okay.
And then ilalabas namin, the panaderos can just do their process from that point on.
I was just wondering before, and I asked that of your mom, na you're in the middle of Bulacan and you're not in Makati, Green Hills, or Quezon City where the market is. How did you manage to stay there and become more popular than some of the people, the bake shops in Makati, Green Hills? Pinupuntahan talaga kayo. You became a destination.
Wow, that's a very humbling statement. But I guess it's the commitment that was put into it. And I keep telling some of the guys na when it comes to marketing, let the product speak for itself. Again, kami, minana rin din namin to from Lola Salome. Ano ba naman ang marketing back in the 40s, 50s? That was just right after the war. So, I mean, just imagine, baka dyaryo, I don't know, I mean, may telegrama ka, padala mo kay ganyan. Diba? Sabihin mo, may sumada ako dito, diba? May ibon, diba? Padala mo sa ibon, diba? Whatever. But I guess up to now, whenever I tell people, sa mga marketing guys, well, what's your marketing strategy? First and foremost, I don't really have a strategy. I go up to people and shake people's hand, and that's and let the product speak for itself. Sa amin, over the years, that's why to some people, siguro, ang sasabihin nila, innovation namin is mabagal compared to others. That's fine. But kasi ang concentration namin, our main goal, our main agenda is really to keep the quality lang alive. Especially the ENSAYMADA and the INIPIT. And the rest, we have mga breads din naman na yung mga biscuit na I'll show you guys later. Pero it's the quality really. We let the product speak for itself. So yun ang main concern namin. And with the bake shops sa Manila, we reach out din naman. We have branches in Manila. So I guess slowly, kahit pa paano, yung mga nakakatikim, it's really up to them. Marami nag-ENSAYMADA and we know some of them. Masasarap talaga. But there are days that you would just want to bite into something that's childhood. As Spanky once said, there's a childhood in a box. I remember him saying that, or caption niya dun sa, kasi nakita niya yung values namin. So that's a good one, childhood in a box, kasi nga it comes in a box, and that's a very strong testament from clients and patrons.
Okay. So, is that just the business, ENSAYMADA and mga breads, or ano pa ba?
We have, the local breads, the local biscuits, even if you go to the store, you'll see yung mga garapon, which is yun talaga, older pa than me, yung garapon pa ng Panaderia La Concepcion, which is, by the way, that's the name in Malolos, Panaderia La Concepcion. And so yun yung mga specialties namin, even bowling or bonete to some, they call it. The pandesal, back in the day. I remember, yun nga yung pandesal. 4 a.m., 4:30 a.m., nakapila sila talaga doon. Tapos yung lalagyan nila, they call it ticklis. Kasi siya para siyang weave basket. And then doon nila lalagay yung from the pan. Mainit pa yung pandesal. They will just dredge it there sa loob ng ticklis na yun. And people would buy, ewan ko kung magkano at that time, parang 20 cents lang ba isang pandesal doon. They would buy like 6 of those. Meron lang paper na nakatakip dun sa pandesal. It's just such a wonderful sight. Pag iniisip ko ngayon, kasi I was there, nakita ko talaga. So it's one of those na they call it ticklis. Kasi sasabihin, sumesenyas lang yun, akala mo sabong o whatever. Sumesenyas lang yun. Pag sumesenyas lang yun, alam na nung paladero na, dalawang ticklis. We're talking about ticklis, not bag. Kasi may bag din eh. Even the bag, yung paper bag nila, parang may pandikit out of rice ba yun? O gaw-gaw or something?
Almirol.
Parang gano'n. And then they fold it like a boat. Di ba? And then mamaya, kita mo, biglang all of a sudden, dikit dito. All of a sudden, it becomes a bag, a brown bag. Yan yung original brown bag. The parchment, parang gano'n. So those are fun stories. Very colorful. Sa akin, I love sharing those stories. Kasi yun yung nakita ko talaga na back in the day.
Before we proceed, let's acknowledge yung mga watching. No? So, Walkers, hi, Richie.
That's my mother-in-law right there.
Alejandro Bernardo Trajano, ang gwapo ni Chef Richie.
You know these guys.
Sino yan?
Basta taga Malolos, gwapo daw.
Ito pa, pwede po, miss.
I didn't even know you can read comments on air.
Sino si Alejandro Bernardo Trajano?
Trajano.
Si Alex.
Si Alex, flower pot. Si Alex, that's Alex. Siyempre, yun yung macho name niya.
Oo, naku ha.
Yung macho name. And of course, si Chef Dino.
Oo, yan.
Hello.
Chef Dino Datu.
My dad and I always stop by Eurobake on our way to Hagonoy.
So before this ends, for those tuning in right now, you guys can come here. We live here, so you can always look for me, and I'll give you sample bites.
alam ko tong si Dino eh. From Eurobake to Hagonoy, nakakain mo ng isang kahon ng INIPIT. So, yan.
That's a 20-minute drive on a bad day.
Isunod na, ganon. Yan mo na. Dino talaga, oh.
Chef Dino.
Okay.
So, tapos.
And meron pa isa. Chubasco Garcia.
That's
hello.
That's Bosconian. Bosconian, my batch. I'm sure you've seen those guys. Yeah.
Congratulations. Ito pa is nabasa ba natin, Anton?
Congratulations. Kinasal?
Hindi.
Segway.
Ha?
Swipe left.
Balik. Mag-shout out ko muna kay Pixie kasi she was the very first one to greet you.
Okay. Hello, Chef Pixie. Yes. Are you still tuning in? I think you are.
Okay. Tapos yung isa si Sir.
Rico Ted Calero. That's my brother-in-law.
Ito si Janix.
Hello.
De Guzman, also Bosconian.
Miss ko na yan sa Don Bosco days pa.
Sir Janix, Anton also from Don Bosco.
I'm still here, sabi ni Pixie.
Siyempre, Chef Dixie is
You're
still
always there.
here. Okay.
Wow! Wow! Oh my God!
Okay. Let's
What
continue.
happened? Let's continue with the program.
Okay, go.
Can you can you show the product? Did you show the product?
Yeah. In fact, I have some here. So this is the INIPIT. As you can see,
Inipit ang tawag. Bakit ko ba tinawag inipit?
yeah, so it's called
Oo.
INIPIT simply because may custard siya sa gitna. And then ito, para siyang sponge cake lang or yeah, I guess sponge cake would be the best term. And then the palaman, we call it palaman, the custard, yan yung nagbibigay din flavor. So, in fact, it's not that sweet. Matamis pa yung mga leche flan, matamis pa yung mga pastillas de leche, I guess. I mean, not to brush, pero just to give you an analogy lang na hindi siya ganun katamis compared to
That's
mga
why
leche
they
flan.
like it. Yeah. Ano yan?
Perfect
Chocolate?
lang. I mean, the balance of flavor. And then this one is the ube, which we make ube from scratch. We buy it from Baguio, I believe. We have a supplier. Then we make it. We do small batch at a time. Kaya limited din naman ang ube kasi madali din masira. And we don't put preservatives. So talagang you'll see in all of our products pretty much walang preservatives. Kaya we always tell clients or patrons na 2 days ang inipit pag wala sa especially nowadays parang biglang mainit, biglang malamig, so it's best na nasa refrigerator. Some will put it in freezer. I did pag dinadala ko sa abroad before. So lalagay ko sa freezer and then ilalagay ko na sa fridge pag kakainin ko sa gabi. And then we have the ENSAYMADA. We have 4 sizes. So makikita naman nila dito siguro meron din kaming Facebook page, Eurobake. And then we have the small one. This is the medium one. And then again, ang ENSAYMADA Malolos is known for the salted egg.
Anong pagkakaiba?
Yes,
Yun lang ba?
Ano mo kay Anton? Paalam mo.
So yeah, yung salted egg ang isa sa trademark din ng Malolos ENSAYMADA. So it's not overpowering with sugar. Some people will get that notion na ang tamis-tamis. It's not really. Again, like I said, baka mas matatamis pa yung mga ibang kakanin because of talagang they use brown sugar.
You also make your own salted egg? Kayo na?
Yeah, we actually, good point. That's why we control the quality of ng egg kasi we handle then the farm that produces the egg. So on a daily ang deliver niyan, hindi kami again, I mentioned about quality kanina. We are very very talagang in tune with the quality. Hindi kami nagbebenta ng second day ENSAYMADA kahit sa Manila branches namin. And
talaga? I've always wondered about that. So wala talaga. Galing
Oo.
Yeah. And then yeah, I mean if you notice it's not too overpowering with sugar. The cheese is there. We use only kasi products that are we don't do shortcuts. We don't do substitutes. Again, not na may masama doon. It's just that the way yung original formula. So we take care of that.
I thought before you were adding ham and itlog na maalat.
Before, correct, Tita Chef. There is merong times na merong may ham pa pero para namang hindi siya masarap din siya kasi talaga it's a sweet ham and after that you'll see people talaga nag-innovate kasi you can put whatever, you can put belota ham, you can put the Spanish ham na pinakamahal around the market but at the end of the day it's the bread na ENSAYMADA. Diba? That's what I always tell people nga like croissant, hindi naman tayo Frances pero why do we know kung mali yung croissants na binibili natin parang cupcake na lang or di ba parang more on the cake flour than the bread flour. It's the whole thing. So with ENSAYMADA, which I did a taste test before with some of I have this group of mga expats and yung mga Espanyol, sabi ko, okay, well, tell me, I did tell them na isa dun sa amin, tell me kung alin yung closest to what you guys eat. On a daily basis, parang churros, parang ganun. And then yung isa, opened it, sabi niya, okay, I don't even have to taste it. Sabi niya, just from the dough itself, I know which one. So, I know this is closest. So, yun yung compliment na nakuha ko naman.
So, when you say...
I would not know.
Yeah, but Richard, when you say every day you have new stock and you're all the way in Bulacan, how I mean, parang
The
nalagay ko
logistics.
kung taga Paranaque ako, grabe, ang layo, opposite. How do you
Yeah,
manage
well,
to have the products to the market?
yeah. Well, see, nowadays, that's why when I did the parang a dialogue with NLEX and yung mga building bridges and all that, we talked about yung highway. Kasi with the Skyway now, ang bilis. I can go to Parañaque in 20, 30 minutes. And that's reality.
Wow,
It's no joke. I mean, of course, may speed limit. I'm not talking about speed limit. This is Skyway, but yeah, I mean that's kasi it shoots you from Balintawak to south to SLEX. So you're around the Parañaque area again in 20 minutes, 25 minutes, or Alabang in 1 hour. So yun ang, to answer your question, yun yung ano namin. Again, day in, day out, we know more or less how much we consume. Let's say sa Manila branches, sa Metro branches. So we only send them just enough. So there are days na baka 3 p.m. pa lang, wala na ENSAYMADA or INIPIT. Tomorrow again. Kasi again, we don't sell, we don't deliver too much para i-carry over sa next day. We don't do that.
Yeah. What about your Bulacan market?
The Bulacan market naman, it's around here, people will really just come here. And again, very well situated kami, right off the highway. Kaya marami rin akong clients from Alabang and from the south, Parañaque and Alabang, because of the new Skyway. So they exit Tabang, and then nandito na sila sa place namin in just in no time. Again, an hour from Alabang area. So to reach out within the Bulacan area, again, people will just bike here, whatever form of transportation. And again, yung place namin up front is a parang jeepney stop, it's a bus stop, it's a tricycle stop. So talagang dito bababa yung mga from Manila or from Hagonoy, Kalumpit, Pampanga, from Mapalit. Dito sa amin bababa talaga. So that made it easy for them to come here.
Ang daming Anton,
Okay.
ang daming
Wait, question lang on
Yes.
the pricing. What happened to magkano na ba siya, and what's happening now with the increase in prices?
Yes, with
How do you keep it
so
with
far with current price increase ng sugar. I mean, I kid you not, in 1 week parang 2 beses nagtaas yung sugar. So only us in the industry that will understand. Pero us, hindi kami nagtaas ng masyado because for a good while, hindi naman kami nagtataas talaga. So we're just really biting it to the margin with our pricing. The INIPIT, it's 330 now. Galing kami ng 300 niyan. So nagtaas lang kami last March. So it's not much. Again, considering siguro naman kasi we own the place. I mean, yung property, so walang masyadong competition sa spreadsheet. So, I mean, we're trying to give the best price possible for our products. Affected, sure. Again, gas and commodity nagtaas, and it's just that we cannot do too much. Kailangan din affordable din. So you get what you pay for. I mean, for ENSAYMADA, like this, you go to Manila, again, you'll spend about probably 20% more for the same product.
Magkano ENSAYMADA? How much is that ENSAYMADA?
And then this one is 200. So sa Manila, 210. So again, the 10 peso difference. We're very transparent with that. 10 peso difference ng ENSAYMADA from Bulacan to here. Yung iba, they just want to come here because they want to come here. So okay, pero yung iba na, just for toll fees, even toll fees tumaas. So those are logistic wise, talaga lahat you have to factor in. And that's the kami sa amin naman we just want to serve the best product.
Right.
Yeah.
Go. And then I'll acknowledge lang yung may question sa comments lang. Si Jenny Chutare, hi sir.
Hi Jenny.
Hi Jenny.
Manny Escano, shout out, Boss Richie.
Manny, si Boss Manny, haircut. Ayan.
Iya,
Leah and
Iya and Rine. Oh, we love your
you deliver.
inipit. You deliver in
You
Cavite. See? Yan, yung
don't
Cavite.
deliver.
That's a good question. Yan yung ano natin. We do. I mean, sometimes the riders nga will take care of that. And, we give opportunities to those guys who are making ends meet then with doing that. May mga pasabay ako naririnig. But for me, before we sign up with those companies that does deliveries, I always make sure and ask them, is it just one booking? Hindi kayo nagdo-double booking. Because pagkain yung dala, imagine mo ice cream yung dala mo, i-deliver mo sa Alabang. Diba? Tapos may dadaanan ka pang tatlo before that. Then medyo it's not gonna happen, di ba? Medyo mali. So that's why for me, para din ma-preserve din, dahil nga yung init yung kalaban din ng gatas natin and products natin. So I always make sure na, okay, just one booking, meaning pag umorder ka from here to Bulacan to Parañaque or from Makati to Parañaque, one shot lang, point A, point B lang siya. Para diretso yung products. And then sometimes we check. I even ask them kung may bag ka ba, yung insulation na para doon sa products or, Cambros, whatever, delivery, kotse or motor. Kasi yung integrity ng product is mas importante sa amin. And yun ang inaano namin na mas importante yung product, yung integrity ng product than the profit. It's not just about profit. Hindi ko bebenta sa iyo. Ang common pa, Chef Nasi and Boss Anton, ang common question, dadali namin sa abroad, aalis kami Sabado. Monday pa lang ngayon. So you have 6 days, 5 days pa. Sasabihin ko na hindi ko bebenta sa iyo ngayon. If you come here Friday or Saturday morning before your flight, then I will. Pero kung sasabihin mo na dadalhin mo, hindi. Kasi by the time umabot yan doon, baka sabihin, ano ba yung binili mo sa Eurobake? Sira. Pero hindi naman nila alam na, they would not know, di ba? Iisipin lang nila yung kami, yung sa ed namin na, bumili ka ng sira.
Can you not freeze that? You can freeze
You
it.
can.
I did that
You
before.
can, pero just like any other bread, it will suffer the quality na rin. Well, some breads, yeah, I do freeze kung mga sourdough bread, mga baguette, mga ganun. But with this one, since may egg and merong sugar and cheese, so minsan baka magtutubig na siya. Or ako sinasabi ko, just remove the egg. Kasi yung egg, before the bread, I think the egg will go first before the bread. Kasi yung bread, 100% kami bago yan, everyday yan.
Okay.
So it's just that the egg, sometimes pag nainitan, bilad mo lang ng 2 hours yan, iba na yung character niya. So,
actually, parang gusto ko na nga uminom ng kape ni Alex at saka sabayan ko natin.
Oo nga.
Salbahe kayo. But I have a question, Anton. Richard, so we talk about culinary DNA and you said that your lola and then your dad and your mom and then ikaw. But now that you're the ones doing the management, are you changing anything for the taste or for the millennial taste or what? Are you altering the recipes or are you sticking to the traditional and original?
Well, the original should be there. I mean, if it ain't broken, why fix things? Pero, of course, yung change, if it's innovative, again, I mentioned about future ng Eurobake, yung gusto namin i-produce, mas mabagal lang kami, medyo conservative lang kami kumilos because we just want to make sure. And again, ang daming pwedeng paglaruan with INIPIT and ENSAYMADA. But, yeah, I mean, sa amin slowly lang, since kami ng brother ko and sister ko yung nag-handle now, we just want to make sure that first and foremost, yung quality ng original, and then second, we just watch our step when it comes to innovation kasi ayaw mo naman ng masyadong too much, especially nowadays, sa mahal na ingredients, you cannot just play. And then, of course, the risk is there, and we appreciate that and we understand. Pero mas maganda na yung medyo alam namin yung predictable yung magiging outcome.
What did you do during the pandemic?
Pandemic, good question. So we remained open kasi essentials naman yung tinitinda namin. And the good thing also with us, I checked with the LGU here, ang staff namin stay in. So we control their well-being, their safety and all. So pati, mga safety protocols, booster and vaccines, kami lahat nung nag-handle nun because they're all here. Maybe 1 or 2 na lumalabas o nandun sila sa around the area lang. But majority ng gumagawa sa bake shop, stay in. So we were able to really open or remain open Kasi sabi din naman ng LGU, essential kami, tinapay kami, so mas nakakatulong pa kami. Kasi pero that was really something na it was a sight. I mean, talagang walang tao. Makikita mo yung MacArthur Highway na super busy and all of a sudden lockdown tayo. But we continue kasi ako naman, sabi ko nga, kung makakatulong din tayo sa tao natin, sa local tao natin dito. Kahit inch by inch, kahit baby steps, we'll do it. Wala namang problema. Like I said, dito rin kami nakatira. So we're all in one nest. So thank God, wala naman nagkasakit sa amin. But we continue to see the safety protocol. Di pa naman tayo tapos sa pandemic din. So,
I hope you
kasi
don't mind.
Sila yung gumagawa.
I hope you don't mind me asking also about, I know that your parents passed on during the pandemic, or that was a big blow. Was it? How did you manage? How did you survive that?
Yeah. Again, we grew up, the pandemic pretty much parang trained us kasi we pushed them back para hindi na, kasi that's how, ito yung sinasabi ko kanina, we're very hands-on. My mom, alam ko nakikita mo, siya yung nagkakahera dito. My dad, siya yung nasa back of the house. Siya yung gagawa ano. And they walk around here. We're just present here, physically present around the establishment. So when they passed, kami naman, parang, again, the pandemic taught us how to be more into it. So physically, they're not around, but we can definitely handle it in terms of just the daily operation. Like I said kanina, we grew up in this environment. So minsan di mo alam na alam mo pala. All of a sudden, kami na yung adult, kami na yung adult decision na parang, oh yeah. You know, it's funny because a quick comment lang on that one. So, hindi pa kami sanay sa gano'n. Pareho silang nawala. You know, and Christmas time, usually, ang mom ko magpapaluto, siya magluluto, siya mag-iisip ng ulam. Christmas time, since busy kami sa tindahan with the orders, etc., you know how busy a bakery can get pag holiday season. Dinner time, wala kami makain dahil wala palang nagplano. Parang, ano yung kakainin natin? Oo nga, wala. Ano na lang. So parang gano'n, parang those are the things that we miss about them. Just the physical na presence nila. Kasi kami lang nag-iikutan dito. But how we handle it, ayun nga, I guess we're used to it and we're so focused on what's next. Kasi this is something that they gave us. So parang ito yung pamana. Diba? So we have to handle it carefully and at the same time, it has to be really on spot.
So what's next?
Kung anong direction nila. What's next? Again, we continue Eurobake. I don't know kung where it's gonna go. Alam ko marami tayo sa with technology. We were chatting about it kanina. And again, we just continue first the original recipe and the quality. And then what comes next is I don't know kung ano yung fate natin. Alam mo, that's the mystery of our fate. Hindi natin alam what's, you know, we can be so ready, you know, we can look back, pero the tomorrow it's wonderful. Ako positive ako all the time. I'm always looking forward to tomorrow.
I think Anton has the pictures.
Yeah, let's look at the pictures. But acknowledging a few more comments. Proud of you, Rich. Eurobake really has the best ENSAYMADA. Lou Fordate said best.
Thank you, Oma.
All right, so let's caption these photos for people to have more perspective. No?
That's 1983 when 82. Between 81 and 82 kasi we opened the door 1983.
Yeah.
So that's still the same structure, that's still the same building.
Uh-huh.
This is in saan ba to? Bulacan. Where in Bulacan?
Yeah, so MacArthur Highway just right off. We're in the border ng Giginto and Malolos. So it's really easy to find because once you exit, we can actually view the toll booth from that point. So it's really close by.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those are
Woo!
those are the products. Yeah, those INIPIT, that's the ENSAYMADA with the salted egg. Of
Ano
course,
yun nasa bowl?
Coffee or tablea, and then we have the pastillas de leche. We have the biscuits behind. Yun yung mga biscuits mga tortilla, or masa podrida. Masa podrida is one of those. It's a short dough cookie kind of thing. It's a local version of the short dough. I don't know how the French did it or the Americans did it, pero I'm a fan of this. Definitely.
Okay, next.
Okay. So that's my culinary years. Very wonderful. And yung chapter ng culinary times ko, again, I spent 20 years abroad. That's Cisco Systems. Again, one of those accounts. Yeah, one of my longest tenure also, Cisco Systems. So that's one of our kitchens. We have multiple kitchens around. I was in charge of the EBC. They call it the EBC, Executive Briefing Center, which I cook for the CEO and the three musketeers. We call the five honchos. So yeah, that's Cisco System. That's October. I remember that. That's Oktoberfest. Spätzle.
Did you ever serve them adobo?
Adobo? Yeah, I did. I would separate the beef and the chicken and the pork. Kasi some people, alam mo naman sa States, well, I want adobo, but I just want chicken, of course. So I had to cook them separately. And then kung sino lang yung mga Pilipino na gusto ko mix, okay, then you get one of each.
Okay.
But yeah, that's how I know. And this one, that's Chef Neil Fraser. He's one of the Master Chef's judges, and which also owns that restaurant Grace in LA. I used to work with him. And yeah, that was one of the colorful culinary experience ko din in LA. Kasi the dad is has something to do with, parang siya yung composer ng Sound of Music, into music. So every time there is, Ian Fraser. So that's Neil Fraser, and chef din siya. And again, every time na may mga Oscars or mga, kasi lapit namin to si area, we were on Beverly Boulevard. So we get all the celebrities. In LA, you can get starstruck kasi they walk around. So mga celebrities from, name it, I mean, Brad Pitt and all those guys. So siya yung siya yung chef namin. So yung restaurant namin parating packed every time, especially pag may mga awards night. And LA, parang every 2 months may awards night. Parang ganun sila doon. So yeah, that was one of my experiences there. This one also in Cisco Systems, I think I was doing duxelle there. That's mushroom duxelle. That's the EBC. That's our, hindi lang malaking picture, pero that's parang hindi siya canteen, hindi siya cafeteria, but that's the lounge for our CEO ng Cisco Systems. So that's where they eat. So yan yung mga heat pans namin. So it's a buffet style. They will come in with their guests, and they can choose from the selections there.
Okay.
That is Silicon Valley Bank, one of my last tenure there before I left. Silicon Valley Bank. That's one of Chef Mitchell right there. So that's brisket. I believe that's March kasi we were doing St. Patty's Day. That's Fennel. I remember Fennel. I remember all those things very vividly. Oh, very vividly. Yeah, that's
okay.
Fennel confit.
All right.
That's the family. So that's pretty much everybody. From Raymond, my brother Raymond, my sister Nina, my brother-in-law Rico Ted Calero, and 2 kids, Jose Calero and Katrina Calero.
Is that your Lola in the dark red?
No, that's mom.
That's your mom. I can't
That's
see.
mom, and the guy in red is my dad.
Yeah, and the one in red.
And that's Raymond sitting there.
Okay.
And this is the facade of Eurobake now, so you won't miss it coming from again from NLEX. You exit Tabang. That's what you see on your left before you hit the marker ng Malolos. So that's why I always say, if you pass that marker ng Malolos, you pass the place na.
I can imagine pag Pasko, siguro that's so colorful, no?
Yeah. My brother Raymond does all the decors, and sabi ko next year parang gusto ko may snow na bumabaksak dyan para talagang European something. Or si Santa Claus bumababa somewhere, di ba? Parang something. Parang back in the day na yung sa Cubao na pinupuntahan natin.
All right. Oh, saan naman
Yep.
yan?
So that is again Bon Appetit. I mentioned this sa bio, Bon Appetit Management Company. When I landed the corporate scene, sila yon, Bon Appetit Management Company. So this is in Ferry Building. So we do mga farm to table, and makikita mo rin yung mga fresh veggies, and those are my chefs then. And we do, yan, mahilig ako sa fennel and all those mushrooms and legumes. So yan yung mga ano namin. Kasi we promote then local. It's sa Bon Appetit, when we say local, it's 100-mile radius supply, yung mga supplier namin. Lahat, I mean, from mushrooms to asparagus to zucchini and even tomatoes. So sometimes when we see tomatoes nakakahon from Mexico, hindi na masyado, nire-reject namin kasi if it's under that program, it's supposed to be 100-mile radius. So that's how we deal with it. We support farmers also in that way. Yun ang gusto kong mangyari din sana dito. And this one is Panaderia Concepcion, yeah. So that's one of the first. Hindi yan yung sa main Malolos, but that's the one on MacArthur Highway din, right in front of the Capitolio. I'm sure, Chef Tita, nakapunta ka na rin doon sa Capitolio area na yan. And that's my Lola Salome.
Yeah.
And if you notice, the baby on the left, that's me.
Wow, ang cute!
Wow!
That's me at 1 year old. Kasi merong sulat siya na Christmas of 73. So yeah, there you go. I gave it away, 1973. So I was just less than a year. I was born May.
Alex, ayan na halikan mo yung baby, si Baby Richard.
That's me, and that's my Lola, that's my mom, right there, to the right. So okay, if you notice Lola Salome ko, lahat ng pictures niya, naka-apron siya. Because she's really the one, hands-on din yan. And yeah, so that I was giving demo at again another Cisco Systems.
The next one.
Yeah. So the next one is we did this one is parang we did a bahay yun yung sa baba with the Bon Appetit. Kasi sometimes the bosses will have guests at the office, pero tutuloy sila sa bahay. So sometimes even kami, sige, that's, we'll go to your house and just serve mga cheese platters lang naman and all that. They just want someone to run the kitchen. And lalaki ng bahay nila, so ganyan yung mga kitchen nila. Parang mas maganda pa sa professional kitchen. That's in Palo Alto, near Stanford. I remember. Yeah. Bahay ng Richard Drager. That's the team right there. I don't know if you met Chef RB Del Rosario, the one behind me there. But that's the Cisco team. That's 2012. And then sa baba naman, that's again that the whole team, it was Christmas. So bago umuwi ng Pilipinas, we were all, ganun kami, family kami. Marami kami accounts. Again, Bon Appetit would handle, meron kami Stanford, may mga pharma companies. Kami, mas more ako sa tech. Because I started at Yahoo, then Google. Hawak namin din lahat yun eh. And then Cisco Systems.
Yeah. Wow, that's a
Valley
big
Bank.
Maraming Filipino, marami kang kasamang Filipino chefs?
Not a lot, pero meron naman. Meron sila. Actually, that RB Del Rosario, ano na yan, regional na yan, mataas na rin yan. Kayo, kasi tagal niya, graduated from CCA here, one of the first batches ng CCA. So siya, mataas na rin ang position niya with Bon Appetit. So yan, magaling siya, very siya. Kilala siya nila Chef Jer and Chef Joanne.
Okay.
Yep. Batch. Yep. And CCA. I guess I just have to show na talaga nag-graduate ako. Baka iba, hindi kasi ako luluto lang. Sabihin, hey, chef. Sabi ko, no. I'm not a chef. Sabi ko, I'm just a kitchen operator. Sabi ko, we work 16-hour days if we don't get paid, but it's okay. It's for the love of the game. So yan yung konting evidence na I graduated talaga. So sumingit lang ako dyan. 1998. I remember that. So kami nila Sito was the same batch. Baba.
Okay. Pero sabi mo, Busconia ka. So, from Don Bosco, nag-college ka, tapos nag-culinary, gano'n?
Good point. Actually, from Don Bosco, 1990, sabi ko, lahat nag-exam. Sabi ko, well, I'll take a breather. Pahinga muna ako. Dahil sabi ko, pagod na ako sa high school eh. So, sabi ko, okay, go ahead. I'm not rushing. You go ahead and take your college wherever you want to go. And then ako naman, I did, so after a while, 91, I did UST, CAFA, advertising.
Nagkafa ka pa. Okay.
But really short. Again, siguro dahil for some reason na nagustuhan ko lang. And again, kaya rin ako nauwi sa culinary arts. I guess yung pagka-advertising, nandun din yung artistic. I mean, freshman kami, pinapadrawing yung ng UST. In my head, like, why would I draw this? Ano to? Di ba? Drawing ko yung bato. Ano ito? Di ba? Anong career to? So that's why, siguro, I did last, pero I made friends. And up to now, I'm still friends with all of them. And kasali pa nga ako doon sa thread nila na hindi mo ako graduate. But see, that's the thing. I mean, and it's all about networking there, which we can talk about later on. But yeah, I mean, nag-CAFA ako, believe it or not. So nag-UST ako for mga 2 sems. Inabot ko naman yung nude painting.
Okay. Next.
Okay.
Ayan na ba?
Yeah. Yeah, just tell me lang if I'm too chatty, limited tayo.
Meron pa,
okay,
Anton.
last. Ito yung last ko.
Last. Ayan.
Last, okay. There you go. See, that's why I included that picture. Kasi I always get amazed na sa 20-year ko doon, wala akong picture ng Golden Gate. Pero ang dami ko nadala sa Golden Gate. So ang dami ko inikot sa buong San Francisco. Alam ko lahat ng mga touristed doon. Kahit stopover ka lang for 4 hours, may dadalan ako sa'yo within the city. So ako, kaya nga nung nakita ko itong picture nito, sabi ko, ito lahat yung only picture ko na with the Golden Gate. So I had to keep it. So yeah, so that's, again, San Francisco is an amazing city. I went to LA, okay din naman, pero sa akin yung character ng San Francisco, iba lang. I'm sure yung ibang nakatira doon will say the same thing. Kayo, nakapunta na kayo doon, so I'm sure, alam niyo naman. Just living in the Bay Area is different. And again, the culinary experiences, iba kasi doon iba din dito. You take up culinary here, you take up culinary in Europe, iba-ibang setting. Dito, baka dati, I remember, puro hotel ang gustong pasukan ng naging HRM. Doon hindi. You don't want to go hotel. You want to go restaurant sa mga celebrity chefs or hindi pa nga celebrity chefs tawag dati. Kasi mas may freestyle sila. You'll get to learn more and adapt more kaysa sa hotel na standardized recipe na ang Ritz-Carlton dito same as Ritz-Carlton sa Paris, vice versa, kind of thing. So yung exposure iba. And city like New York, San Francisco, Chicago, Texas, andyan, marami rin kayo dyan. Yan yung melting pot. Melting pot. That's how you learn. Really, get people in the mix. That's how you learn.
Yeah, Sanfo is the best.
The best. There you go. Nami-miss ni Pixie tuloy.
Johnny Flo, Joe said,
cheers. Johnny, cheers. Yep.
So
marami pala akong kakilala rin.
Wait, Richard, are you introducing any new products na Richard Ramos lang or yung generation mo lang na hindi, not your parents or your lola?
Yeah, wala pa naman. I'm thinking about it. So right now we are in that sort of like status na okay, we can start moving forward, especially pag na medyo nag-clear na itong pandemic. We have, like I mentioned kanina, we're from Cavite. We have a small farm in Silang. So that's another project that I can really work on and put my hands on. And again, with the spin din ng Eurobake, something to do with that. Or it's totally different. I mean, cooking. So that's why if you come back here, Tita Chef, I can collaborate with you guys.
Gusto ko kasama si Pixie.
There you go. Okay, Chef Pixie, you're off the hook.
Okay, anyway. So, I don't know, Anton might have more questions kasi you're
wala
supposed
na.
to. Yeah, well, how would you inspire, or what would you say to those who are just starting, maybe thinking about, should I go restaurant or should I go bake shop, or should I open now in the pandemic or post pandemic, or what? Any, kasi the audience that Anton has in our awesome planet are millennials, and for me, I know there are seniors watching. So, what would you say to them?
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, you never stop learning. Again, you want to be successful. Paminsan-minsan, you have to have that angst. But then again, don't forget din na humility is very important. Again, lahat naman tayo, we try to keep moving forward. And for me, I mentioned kanina, all those keywords, the quality, let the product speak for itself. So don't overthink things. I mean, sometimes just work on something that you think that will work. And if you're serving food, maybe be food or services, again, just make sure that you yourself eat those foods that you that you're promoting. Diba? I mean, if you're vegetarian and you tell me na yung T-bone steak masarap doon, how would you know? I mean, how would I respect that comment? Diba? I mean, of course, I'd listen, but be truthful lang. And again, the commitment and that's put into it, yung TLC na sinasabi nila, is something that culinary school or hospitality school will never teach. Adapt, especially now, the pandemic. We didn't know it was going to happen. So, ito yung rainy day na sinasabi nila na hindi natin alam. So, sa ngayon, I mean, instead of just, I mean, knowledge is power, pero at the same time, kailangan mag-adapt tayo sa situation. So, yun ang isa sa sinasabi ko rin. And they always say, passion, of course, nandiyan yung passion. But at the end of the day, let's just enjoy what we do. Kasi if you enjoy what you do, just like what the old saying goes, na you will never work a day in your life if you really enjoy what you do. Which is true. Kasi nakita ko rin yan eh. Like sinabi ko nga na, starting after graduating, the story only begins when you graduate. Yun lang yun. And especially now, ang dami natin na challenges around. Let's just embrace challenges. Let's move forward. Kahit baby steps, as long as we're moving forward. Keep the faith.
Bucket list.
Bucket list. Honestly, parang I don't really come up with any of those lists. Kasi for me, I do it on a constant basis. And for me, with strong faith, no matter spiritual, mental, physical, I think I'm okay. My world is colorful right now. Except for one thing, siguro Chef Tita, siguro family, but of my own. But wala namang wala namang timeline eh.
Pwede ka naman mag-propose ngayon eh, kung gusto mo eh.
Yan. Okay. Nako, propose new product namin, ladies and gentlemen. We have this.
Yeah. No, I think your INIPIT, Anton, you've tasted INIPIT, no? INIPIT can go so many ways. Ang gusto ko, pakilagyan mo yung ganyang kakapal na mantikilya, butter icing. So, yun ang ginagawa.
I will do that.
Yan yung ginagawa ko sa INIPIT mo eh. Dinilayer ko mga 2-3, tapos pinupunoan ko ng butter.
You know what? That's a good one. Yeah. So marami. Flavor-wise ng INIPIT, flavor-wise ng ENSAYMADA. I have everything all in my mind, pero of course, until I do it, the execution is another thing. So, yun din, isang payo ko din sa mga nag-uumpisa, you can plan a good plan, pero kung mali ang execution, the timing, it will not fall into place. Kaya kailangan may wit tayo. And again, those wit, minsan nakukuha lang sa experience. So, don't be afraid to fail, kasi doon lang tayo matututo rin. Pero kailangan medyo calculated lang ng konti minsan para hindi medyo masakit bumaksak. Diba?
All right. Maya said Eurobake's the best. Yuli Crisostomo said Eurobake is a Bulacanyo institution. All right.
Actually,
maraming salamat.
Iconic na. You're already a destination in Bulacan.
Salamat. And again, we are humbled. Humbled talaga kami kasi I don't even want to be called the chef. Again, we do what we do. Again, sa parents ko, sa lola ko. So we're just humbled na nagugustuhan pa rin kami. And if there's any comments, of course, we're just here. We're open ears din kami naman to listen to mga comments and suggestions. But yeah, overall, again, hindi namin alam na, imagine mo 1945, that's 77, 78 years.
Wow.
Konti na lang, baka ito na yung ano nila, Queen Elizabeth. Nakakbo na tayo sa Platinum Jubilee.
Okay. Alright.
All right. Maraming salamat. Thank you, Richard, for inspiring a lot of the people watching the live stream. Please like and subscribe to the YouTube channel and Facebook channel. Share this with your family and friends. Yung Eurobake. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Richard. Maraming salamat. Live an awesome life, guys.
Punta
Yeah,
kayo sa
thank you.
Eurobake.
And Awesome Planet, please support. It's good cause.
Yes.
Thank you, Chef Tita Nancy and Boss Anton. Thank you.
Richard. Bye, Pixie.
Alright.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Pixie, Chef Pixie, and
Bye,
all.
Pixie. Yeah, God is good.
God is good.
Can you do a short